It's 3 a.m. The baby won't stop crying. You haven't slept properly in 4 days. You've tried feeding, rocking, the white noise, everything. And then something slips. You raise your voice. You didn't mean to. It just happened. And in the 2 seconds of silence that follow, you see it. The wide eyes, the trembling lip, the tear, and the question every parent asks themselves in that moment. Have I just damaged my child permanently? Here's what the research actually says. And here's what most parents never find out, because nobody tells them. Here's a number that might actually make you breathe again. Studies on parent and child interaction show that even in the healthiest, most securely attached relationships, parents and children are out of sync up to 70% of the time. 70%. That means the best parents on the planet, the ones with the most patience, the most training, the most love, are still missing what their child needs more often than they're getting it right. So those moments where you lose your patience, raise your voice, or completely miss the mark, they do not mean your attachment is broken. They mean you're human. But here's what does matter. Here's what separates the parents whose children grow up feeling safe and loved from the ones who carry invisible wounds into adulthood. It's not the rupture. It's what you do after. And most parents are getting the repair completely wrong, not because they don't care, but because they were never taught how to do it. To understand why repair matters so much, you need to see what's happening inside your child's brain in the seconds after you raise your voice. To your child, no matter how old they are, you are not just a parent. You are their entire felt sense of safety in the world. When that safety suddenly vanishes, even for 30 seconds, their nervous system responds the same way it would to a genuine threat. Heart rate spikes. Cortisol, the stress hormone, floods their system. The rational thinking part of their brain goes temporarily offline. And they're left with one overwhelming question. Why did the person who always makes me safe suddenly become scary? Here's the critical part. Children don't have the cognitive capacity to understand adult stress, work pressure, exhaustion, or overwhelm. Their brains simply cannot land on, they're tired. So it lands on the only explanation available to a developing mind. I must have done something wrong. I am the reason they're angry. And if that moment is never repaired, if you move on, if time passes, if life continues, and the rupture just quietly closes over without acknowledgement, that thought doesn't disappear. It gets filed. One unrepaired moment doesn't create a wound, but a pattern of ruptures that are never acknowledged. That builds something. It builds a belief, a quiet, deep, below-the-surface belief that says, something about me makes the people I love react this way. I am the problem. That belief doesn't stay in their relationship with you. It travels into how they see themselves at school, into how they handle conflict with friends, into how they behave in relationships as adults, into how safe they feel, ever letting anyone truly close. This is why repair is not optional. This is not a parenting luxury. Repair is the mechanism that protects your child's sense of self, now and for the rest of their life. So, here is exactly how you do it. Step 1. Before anything else, before the apology, before the conversation, you need to be calm. Not performing calm, actually calm. Because if you go back to your child while you're still activated, still frustrated, still in your own head, you will escalate, not repair. Give yourself whatever you need. 5 minutes, 20 minutes. The next morning, if that's what it takes, there is no deadline on repair. The only thing that matters is that it happens, and that it happens when you're genuinely ready. Repair done wrong is worse than repair done late. Step 2. Get down to their level, eye contact, and own exactly what happened. In simple, clear words, say this: "I've been thinking about this morning. I got frustrated and I raised my voice. That wasn't okay." That's it. Short, direct, honest. Now, here comes the most important word in this entire process. Do not say but. I raised my voice, but you weren't listening. I got frustrated, but we were already late. The moment but appears, every word before it is erased. Your child's brain, which had already concluded they were the problem, just received confirmation. Own your behavior. Leave theirs completely out of it. Not because what they did was fine, but because this moment is not about that. Their behavior can be addressed later, calmly, when connection has been restored. Right now, there is exactly one job. Step 3. Acknowledge how it felt for them. This doesn't need to be long. Something as simple as, "I'm sorry if I frightened you. That must have felt really scary." When you do this, you're showing your child that their feelings are real, that they make sense, and that you can see the world from where they're standing. That alone is enormously healing. Step 4. Tell them what you'll do differently next time. Next time when I'm feeling rushed, I'm going to take a breath before I speak. This shows your child that sorry isn't just a word you say to end an uncomfortable moment. It's a commitment to actually doing something differently, and it models one of the most valuable emotional skills a human being can have: the ability to reflect on your own behavior and choose to grow from it. You are not just repairing a moment, you are teaching your child how to be in relationships. Step 5. Offer reconnection. A hug, reading a book together, a few minutes of play. Something that says, "We're okay. Our relationship is stronger than this moment." And this is crucial. Follow their lead. If they want to hug straight away, that's beautiful. But if they need more time to come back to you, let them have it. The offer is what matters, not the timing, because what that offer communicates, in a language that goes deeper than words, is this: I will always come back to you. No matter what happens between us, I will always come back. That repeated experience, rupture followed by repair, disconnection followed by return, is the literal building block of secure attachment. It is not the perfect moments that build security. It is the repaired ones. Once the connection is fully restored, and only once it's restored, there is one more step. Address the behavior calmly, without bringing the rupture back up. So if the trigger was getting dressed in the morning, you might sit down together later and say, "When I ask you to get dressed, you get to choose which top you want to wear." Does that sound fair? Short, specific, forward-looking. When you consistently do this, repair first, teach second, something shifts. Those flashpoint moments start happening less often. Not because your child is perfectly behaved, but because they have the tools to handle it differently. You are not going to get it right every time. Nobody does. That is not what secure attachment requires. What it requires is that you come back every time, that you repair, and every time you do, every single time you go back to your child and say, "That wasn't okay, I'm sorry, I love you," you are teaching them something that will serve them for the rest of their life. That love is not fragile. That repair is possible.